live. Hey, hi, Tanika. Hey. It's day 34. Whew. Okay. Good afternoon, good morning, good day, good evening. It's Shirley, and today is day 34. We're on day 34 of my 45 days live for the Women's Leadership Circle, talking about all kinds of things to do with women, women's leadership, women's strength and power, and this week, women's health. And when I say women's health, I'm not speaking of any specific diseases, but speaking of maintaining our best state of health. And this afternoon, I am trying my best to maintain my best state of health in sweltering heat. Look at this. Try as hard as I might. I got up early this morning, went to the beach to walk up and down the beach and get some exercise. I got there and there were men camping on the beach. So I turned around and came back, Defense Force or something, and spent the day in my bathing suit, hoping to get back to the beach. I haven't yet, but I'm going to as soon as I've done this. And that's one of the reasons I'm doing this a little bit early. I'm also doing a little bit early because I just finished, I just came off a Zoom with some family of mine, my father's side of the family, who most of our families, like my mother's side of the family, also scattered all over the world. We are in England, we're all over Europe, all over the United States, all over the Caribbean, all over everywhere. We're everywhere. And so some cousins of mine they wanted to just kind of pull the family together and see who we are, where we are, and what we're doing. And it was really, 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 really cool. And I'm also really, really honored that first person jumped in here is family of mine, my cousin on my mother's side. Tanika, thank you so very much, girl. Thank you. And we're still talking about health, because talking about family just sort of brings the whole health conversation brings us right back full circle, because so much of our health issues, whether it's the poor health or the good health, so much of it has to do with family, and a lot of it has to do with genetics, obviously. But it seems to me, from what I'm reading and what I'm hearing from medical people, even more has to do with the environment, with the nurturing rather than the nature. So many illnesses and potential for illness that we have come not from the genes, because you could have the genes and nothing happens. Like with diabetes and many other things, you can have the genes and it has no effect on you. Oh, let me just fix this, sorry. But if you don't take care of your health, then yes, it'll show up. So if we are taught to take very good care of our health when we're children, if our families teach us to grow up healthy, then our chances of living healthy are even better. And I'm grateful that my mother, for example, but my grandparents, Tanika's great grandparents, made sure we had good food. My mother's grandparents were people who were of the land. My grandfather had animals. My grandmother had her garden and did her planting. And we always had good, healthy, organic food. Always. And my mother tells me stories of when she was young, bringing up her children, how much well, she didn't have to tell me. I remember coming from our grandmother's house with bags of food, fruits, dasheen, sweet potatoes, bananas. And I remember my grandfather's banana bin. He had a box, he had a chest in the cellar, which was lined with banana leaves, and in it were the most delicious, always the most delicious, sweetest, creamiest bananas ever. And my grandmother cooked, and she cooked really, really well. She didn't use a lot of meat. She used things from her garden. They didn't eat out of cans. They didn't eat out of cans. We had fresh milk and fresh vegetables and fresh spices and herbs. She didn't season stuff with seasonal and things like that. We spent so much time. Tanika spent time here in the holidays too, and got some of that. And I'm really grateful for that. Plus, my mother always took us walking. Always took us on hikes all over the place. And so the idea of walking, of keeping healthy, was I grew up with that. So when I talk about health, I'm speaking about the environment, living healthily. Like I said, and we all know, all of us have had illnesses or are going to have some illness in our lives, and sometimes pretty serious illnesses. My grandmother was an exception. My grandparents, actually, Tanika's great grandparents, were an exception because they ate so well and they used their bodies right through their lives. My grandmother died when she was 97, with all her faculties pretty much intact. Her memory and everything was intact. And she had never really had any serious illness, come to think of it. She'd never. So, and I can tell you one of the things my grandmother did. All of my life, I remember every evening with her meal, every single evening with her meal, she'd pour a little bit of brandy in a glass, top it up with water, and she'd eat that. She'd drink that while she was eating. I don't remember her drinking alcohol any other time, but the medicinal. And I know people who've gone to medical school or who are studying human biology, and they will tell you that so often when they do autopsies on human bodies, the people who drink some alcohol, generally their blood vessels often are clearer and cleaner because alcohol does things to our brains, but it also does positive things to our bodies, which is why people not recommend, but think it's not a bad idea to drink red wine or to drink some alcohol for the body's sake. And when we're talking about taking care of our bodies, for me, the important thing is that we not be absolutely fanatical, dreadful about food, because the other part, there's eating, and the other part of being healthy is being able to enjoy life. So where's the joy in dry food that has no flavor, no taste, no enjoyment? That can't be good for your health. So anyway, today, however, I said I'd talk a little bit more about physical exercise and using that, how that plays into being healthy. And I said, I got up this morning and said I was going to go walking on the beach. I got there and there was camp going on. And so I turned around and came home. But generally in the mornings, I go walking. I wake up early and I go walking wherever in the world I am. If I get no other exercise during the day, I get that. And that is good for, I said before, good for your brain, helps you clear up your brain and get rid of stress. Stress kills people. We know that stress kills. Exercise, simply walking, helps you lower your stress levels, helps your heart work better, helps your blood pump better, helps you feel better, helps your hormones work better. It is good for you. If you do nothing else, get into the habit of walking. There are some people who walk after dinner at night. That's also really very good. You don't have to be huffing and puffing, although pushing your body to its limits, or almost its limits, is good. It helps you strengthen. It's a really, really good thing to do. That's why athletes push right as far, and I think they said out 70 or 80% of your capacity. You can't work at 100% for very long. You keel over. But you push yourself, huff and puff a little bit, and let things work a little bit, and then you calm down and do it again the next day. Work a little bit more, and that's what strengthens your body. It strengthens your cardiac system. It strengthens your muscles. When your muscles are working better, your circulation works better. Your heart is not having to work so hard, and you live healthier. Your hair, if you wear your hair wide like mine, or you do it nicely, either way, exercise is good for your hair. Circulation is important to growth of hair, nails, teeth, bones, everything. Your eyesight, yeah. So I want to recommend that you do that. If you do nothing else, in yoga, we talk of having a practice. You have a practice. You don't practice yoga, you don't do yoga. You have a practice. It's something that you just do. It's part of your life. Make walking, if nothing else, make walking a practice, something that you do religiously, consistently. Bear in mind that when you're young or younger, is the time to develop the habit, the practice, the discipline. Because, among other things, you are going to need it most when you get older. And if you don't do it when you're younger, when you get older, you won't be able to do it when you actually really do need it. Yes, that's not just me saying. It's not a question. It's not a thing that I'm saying. It's how the human body works. You will know that the people, my grandmother, for example, one of the reasons that she was active and capable all into her 90s was because she had been doing it throughout her life. I am banking on when I'm 90, I'm going to be dancing. I'm planning on dancing. And I actually saw one of my aunties, one of my father's aunties, so my great aunt, I saw she was 92. She died a couple of years after that, but she was 92. She had a pacemaker, actually. And I saw Aunt Pris dance at 92. And dance. Okay? I want to do that. I want all of you to do that. I want you to take care of your health so that when you get to those ages, you actually are able to celebrate having got to those ages. Yeah? You don't want to be sitting in a wheelchair and everybody else is eating cake and enjoying it and you can't. Unless it's absolutely unavoidable. And the fact of the matter is, medical people tell me it is not absolutely given that you get old and are incapable of. It will happen to some of us, but it doesn't happen because we get old. It happens because as we're going through life, we haven't been doing this, that, or the other, or it's some extraordinary event. Things that, you can't. There are those extraordinary events that you have no control over. But there are places in the world where people live well into their 90s and live well. And I say live well, they can walk around and do things. There's a place called Ikaria in Greece, an island in Ikaria in Greece, a Greek island where people live healthy and live well. And if you check it out online, go Google it, and you will see that one of the things that they do is they eat well, they eat what they find, they eat from around them, they eat fresh food, they drink wine, red wine, they eat meat because their meat is not full of steroids and hormones and pumped up with stuff. And they eat fruits and vegetables from around them. And apparently they have good sex well into their old age. They make making love it's part of what they do. You don't stop making love because you reach 60 or 70 or think you're too old for it. They keep doing these things. And so they live into their 90s, able to enjoy all of the pleasures of life. We want to be able to do that. Diet is critical to this. Eating well is critical to that. And exercise, actually moving your body. Do something, walk, do yoga, stretch when you wake up in the morning. Give your body a good stretch. Make that a habit. Look at cats and dogs, animals. When they get up from somewhere, the first thing they do is they stretch. So they get their circulation going. Yes. And walking, like I said, you don't have to be running, pounding the pavement, running. Walking has been proven to be just as effective, just as helpful to your overall cardiac health and circulation and brain health as running. In fact, I had one woman tell me, Shirley, when I used to run because, and I still do sometimes, because sometimes you just need to push it out. You need to push your body out. And one woman said, I'm not doing that because I don't have to. The doctor said I could just walk, but do something. And whenever you get the chance, do something extra. Some years ago, I was in Kentucky with my sisters round about the time of the Kentucky Derby. And there's a marathon a week around Derby time. There's a marathon. We did the half marathon and 1 year, and they decided we're going to do the marathon 1 year. You walk and you walk and you walk and you walk. But guess what? When you're preparing for that thing, you're pushing your body you're pushing your body out. And that's a really cool thing. It's really good for your body. We're having electricity issues. That beeping you're hearing is part of living in the Caribbean. That's my my energy thing for my internet that makes sure I don't lose it every time the electricity goes. when I first hiked the Grand Canyon is 20, I think it's 24 miles one way, or 22 miles one way and 24 miles the other way if you take a certain path. It's roughly a marathon, the Grand Canyon. And the first time I was going to hike it, this is in 2000, I think 2001 or something, took months. Let's try and ignore that. I won't be much longer. For months, for like a year before, I hiked, I sweated, I did all kinds of things, and then started doing step aerobics. At the gym, they started step aerobics class, and I took the step aerobics, and literally within weeks, I could feel the difference in my lung capacity, and my walks were so much easier. I hiked the Grand Canyon rim to rim to rim several times because I prepared myself. And I'm banking on all this preparation and all this hiking of the Grand Canyon, ensuring that when I'm 80 and 90, I'm still on my feet and my body is still, and my health is still good. I'm banking on my heart not giving me too much trouble when I get to that age. Yes? So let me just leave this with you. This weekend, today, tomorrow, make a commitment to make being healthy and to be intentional about being healthy. Be intentional about being healthy and set aside a time every day, or at least every other day, when you work on your physical being, your physical strength, your fitness, your physical fitness. Yes? And see how it feels. Everything feels better when your body works better. You know that. So do that. Take the time, make the time, so that when you really need it, your body will be there for you. Your body will be there for you. That's how the body works. Right? I'm going to go put a bathing suit on and go swimming and cool down a little bit. I wish you were here. I wish you were here. I wish you were here to go with me. It would be fun. It's turtle season also, so turtles are in the sea. Turtles are in the sea making love too, by the way, because it's turtle season. They're mating and laying eggs. And yeah. So take some time this weekend to just schedule some time every day or every other day to literally work on your physical fitness. Get it up, strengthen your body so that your body will be with you throughout the rest of your life, up to the 100 years. We will dance when we're 90 and 95. We will dance at our 100th birthday party. All right? Also, in the meantime, do check out the website. It's shirleyosborne.com. We got some cool stuff on there for different groups of women. See the work that we do and see how you want to be a part of this. You will see that we're looking for 1,000 women who are committed to making a difference in the world. We're starting with 1,000 women who will commit to making a difference in the world. And then we go from there. I will see you tomorrow. Have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful day, afternoon, evening, pleasant night, sweet dreams, and take good care.